So in this final video, we are going to look at how the table was built for this report. So in Report Builder 3.0, what I did was I used the insert table and I added these 7 columns. And as you can see, these are the names of the 7 columns. And each of them has some expressions in it. So we'll go ahead and take a look at those right now. To start off with, let's look at the log time and the article number. As you can see that we directly have the names of the fields, and that just says that there was no changes done. The field over here was directly got pulled from the usage application data set. So the log time over here field is the exact one we see in the report. And same thing, the article number field over here is the exact thing we see in the report. So these are the two over here. Let's take a look at user login. So user login, as you see, it has this expression over here, which means there was some expression added. So if I right click and I look at expression, I can see that it is still pretty much the user login field. The only thing I've done is I've removed this prefix. This is a normal prefix which is available in claim-based authentication. And because to make it look a little cleaner, I've gone ahead and removed that prefix. So that's it for user login. Let's take a look at username. So in username, I again right click and click on expression, and you can see that there's some expression going on over here. And what I did was I used the lookup expression, and that's a common expression which is available over here in miscellaneous. So what the lookup expression does is I wanted to actually get the full user name, which is the first and the last name. So that is available in the LM user info dataset. But in order to do that, I had to do some comparison of the usernames which are available in the usage application dataset and in the LM user info dataset. So I compared the usernames, and then finally I got the actual full name from the LM article. So that's how the lookup is done. And as you can, when you take a look at the expression, it'll make more sense. Plus, there's an example I've provided over here. All right, so request type. Again, request type is very close to what it is already, except that out of the box, it gives you get, which is for read, and post, which is for add and edit. To make it more user-friendly, anything which is get is replaced as read, and anything else is replaced by edited. In the data, I know that there's only get and post, which is why I was able to use this if expression to create these user-friendly values. All right, so duration, the only thing I did was out of the box, it was in milliseconds, so I just made sure I went ahead and did a calculation to get it in seconds. So that's the only change in duration. And then in title, again, the title is very similar to the username. In the expression, when you look at it, I have gone ahead and done the lookup such that I was able to compare the page names. Now, in the usage application, which is the reporting database, all it does is it gathers the page numbers, which is 100.aspx or 1000.aspx. That's what it's recording, and that's also what the LM articles, which is the data connection to the list, it has that value as well. So I was able to do a lookup between the two values and finally get the title, which is the actual title of the article. That's the information which I was able to get. And so I used the lookup expression for that. So as you can see, all the calculations as far as the lookup and everything is done in the table itself. And then gathering the data is done in the data set. So it's the combination of these two, which is what helps us get the information and present it the way we want it. That's how it is built. Now, other enhancements that I've done is I have used Report Builder 3.0's parameters. So I went ahead and added that when a report's being run, you can ask the user to put in the start date and time and the end date and time, and also to put in the action. The action is if it's going to be a read or edit. And then what I did was in my filtering capability, I have applied the filters based on these parameters to the report itself. So this is all that I've done over here is if the expression, the log time is greater than the actual start time, which is in the parameter, and or if it is less than, and if the request type is whatever the user puts in, that this is the data that's going to be presented. So now that's as an example, let's go ahead and run this report. we'll go ahead and run a fresh report. I'm going to put in the start date as, say, on the 4th. Let's put the end date tomorrow, so it'll record everything that I have today. And right now, I just want to find all the actions which were read. So let's run the report. And as you can see, it is showing me that this user at this specific time was reading articles for this long. These are the article numbers, and these are the titles of all the articles. As you can see that it's based on the timestamps as well. So there what looks like duplication is actually the duration, that the same article was read 3 different times for 3 different durations. So technically this is not a duplicate, but you have other functionalities to group them based on username or the article name, so you can actually hide what may look like a duplicate. So let's run another example. We can take this 3 months back, from March till again today. Let's leave the action as read. I'm going to view the report, and the total number of results are definitely more. So again, in a nutshell, this is how you build the custom reports. SharePoint, this can only be done in SharePoint server on premises, because you have to have access to the databases to pull the information. And again, in the usage services, you have to make sure that you've got all those options selected. Only then can you get all the information and the data that you need. Thank you.